This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ramika Vincent Leary and welcome to this edition of inStudio. If you think Grandma and Grandpa are trying to keep up with you, it may be time to reevaluate that statement. Instead, let me pose the following question. Can you keep up with them? Our senior citizens are making strides, defeating the odds and branching out on many levels. From volunteerism to health and wellness to entertainment, get ready to be inspired as we explore seniors who are so active. It's all coming up right after this. Welcome back, everyone. During this edition of inStudio, we'll hear from the Council on Aging of West Florida, Bayview Senior Center, and roll out the red carpet for the 20th anniversary celebration of the Pensacola Senior Follies. But first, our Senior So Active journey begins with the United Way of Escambia County. I'm so happy to welcome Will Worth, manager of the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, including Ginger Leskovich, who serves as a volunteer. It's a pleasure to see both of you on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, so Will, let's start with you. Give us a general overview of the United Way for our viewers.
Well, the United Way, as I hope most people know, it's like the premier umbrella organization for donations in the country, but for Escambia County, anybody can donate through United Way, and that money filters down to other local organizations in the community.
Now, Ginger, I know that you're a volunteer with United Way. How many years have you been with the organization? And do you have a memorable story maybe of your first day?
I just started this year, past year, 2016. And I'm working with a child in the school system for Reading Pals.
Wonderful.
I had saw the ad in the paper. I love to read, and it said 1 hour with a child for Reading Pals. And I have been assigned to a little girl, and I go in once a week and mentor with her. And we just talk, and we go over things like her numbers and her letters, and I encourage her, and I try to help her with her gifts and her talents and let her know what she is excelling in and how good she's doing.
That is amazing. So, Will, back to you. Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, RSVP.
RSVP.
When did it begin?
It is celebrating its 45th anniversary this year. It started out just as a local plan to get seniors up and off the couch if they're retired, and serving back in the community. It's now a federally funded program through the Corporation for National Community Service. So the RSVP program is nationwide, and all we're doing is we're really just looking for any Americans 55 or better that are looking to get out and help in the community. And you can volunteer like Ginger anywhere from an hour a week, all the way up to 40 hours a week. So I've got all kinds of volunteer stations around the community that are looking for volunteers.
So is there an initial screening process, interview process?
Yes, there's just a very brief interview process. They usually meet with me, and I go over with them what kind of options there are out there, find out what their needs are, what they're looking to do back in the community. And then I go over what we have available, and then try to fit them in something that they are wanting to do or wanting to give back into the community. So,
Ginger, there are definitely a range of volunteer services with the RSVP program, so we had a nice little plate, a smorgasbord for you to choose from initially. Mm-hmm. What were some of your options? I know that you're helping a youngster, but some of the other things that were on the table.
Well, they have other things for you to do. There's many options, but reading was my favorite because I do love to read, and I wanted to invest.
Wonderful. Look at that picture up there. She's such a cutie, isn't she?
Yes, I wanted to invest in a child's life. You never know what little children go through and how they can be encouraged, and you can do so much in a child's life when you mentor them and you encourage them to be all that they can be. And they will tell you things.
They will tell you.
They will talk to you.
Right. We see some of the volunteers right here getting together for fellowship, right, Will?
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other things that you all do. There are carpentry services, right? There's some other things that you do in the community?
We have the volunteer stations that we have. They range from Every Child a Reader, which is what Ginger does. It's an hour a week volunteering at one of the local schools, reading with a pre-K child, getting them ready for kindergarten. So really the goal for that is to make sure they can write their name, first and last, write their alphabet, and count 1 to 30. Takes an hour a week, but we also have the USO that we're helping find volunteers for, Panhandle Warrior Partnership, Mana Food Bank, American Red Cross, Pensacola Museum of Art. So I have a wide range of volunteer stations in the area. If there's an interest that you have, I can probably find something for you in one of those volunteer stations to give back into the community.
Elaborate a little bit more on the Mana Food Bank and what you do.
A lot of our volunteers, well, there's different volunteer opportunities at Mana. And so I have volunteers that help with the intake process. So when people come in looking for assistance with Mana, they do a question and answer to see if they fit the criteria. I have other volunteers that work in the warehouse that bag up the groceries for the recipients of Mana, and I have other volunteers that go through big boxes of canned food and box food and help sort it and separate it into their warehouse, so when they are packaging, can, box, they put them all in the one bag. So there's lots of things at Mana. They also have a community garden, so they're looking for volunteers to help in their community garden.
Hey, green thumbs. Do you have a green thumb?
No.
Let's shift gears here for a moment. Financial planning. I just thought that was amazing, Will, that service that you offer for retirees. There are some people who retire and maybe they're at a loss for words. They really don't know what to do. That's yet another advantageous thing that the United Way offers through the RSVP program. Will, I know that you've probably had a lot of people latch on to that.
We do, and the financial planning part, we help out. One of our volunteer stations, again, is VITA. It's the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, which will be starting here locally at the end of the month, and that's free tax assistance for anybody in the community making under $64,000 a year. We also do the My Free Taxes, again, for the financial assistance. So there's a lot out there.
We know that you are not alone. You mentioned some of the other agencies that you partner with. Do you have a story, a harrowing story that you would like to share? Maybe one that really just stands out in the forefront of your mind. Maybe one that you use when you're speaking to groups.
Well, I do. I like to talk about the Reading Pals program because we have so many volunteers, and again, it's just 1 hour a week. And being an RSVP volunteer, the way our program is here locally, you can volunteer 1 hour within 365 days, and that 1 hour counts towards our program.
Ginger, one person can make a difference. We hear that over and over again. So a plea to a senior out there who's contemplating, they're on the sofa right now looking at the program. Should I? Yes, you should. Okay. What can I do to get up off the couch and join the RSVP program? What words of encouragement would you give someone out there in that predicament?
Well, it's a wonderful thing to give and to serve. The joy and the fulfillment that we have in our heart and our life when we're investing in other people. Life is about people. Life is about serving others, giving back to what God's been good to us in our lives and sharing with other people and meeting needs and helping people and loving people and being there in time of need for people. And these children are absolutely precious. They're the next generation, and we want to just let them know that they can do anything. Nothing's impossible.
I love your energy.
She's an awesome volunteer. So.
Well, we need to reach one, teach one. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
With the many services that you have. Let's talk about the monthly newsletter for just a moment here.
Well, we do the monthly newsletter through the United Way, and we have a section there that has upcoming events for RSVP volunteer opportunities. We also, if you're a volunteer through RSVP, we have Lunch and Learns 6 times a year, which is free for any RSVP volunteer to attend at the United Way or at one of the volunteer stations. It's an hour, and I usually try to get somebody to come in either talk about financial planning or something fun, and you get lunch. And we've been starting to move them around to the volunteer stations. So this past fall, we did one at the Pensacola Mess Hall, which is one of our volunteer stations. And if you haven't been there, it's a really awesome.
So this is an invitation, right?
Well, they're there, so
I know.
it's a really fun place
Absolutely.
mostly for kids, but even adults have fun there. So
Look at that.
yeah, that was at a lunch and learn that we had at the Pensacola Mess Hall.
So Ginger, the newsletter, I'm excited about it. And I know that there probably are a vast array of articles that are featured in there, many success stories of seniors, I would imagine. Have you ever contributed to that? I know that you love to help the youngsters with reading. Is that maybe something you've branched out into?
Not yet.
Not yet,
No.
but it is definitely
Possibly.
a possibility, right?
Right.
Well, let's talk about some of the social events. Because, hey, all work and no play, let's have a little fun,
Exactly.
right?
And that's, again, the Lunch and Learns is one of the social events that the volunteers it's free to come to. And then we do an annual luncheon for all the volunteers as an appreciation once a year. Again, that's free for all the volunteers that volunteer with us. And we're looking at doing a few other things coming up, but I don't really want to take the wraps off of them yet.
Oh, but wait a minute. Let's talk about the volunteer fair that's forthcoming February. Give me the
9th.
date.
February 9th. It's a Thursday morning from 9 to 11 at the Bayview Senior Center. We've partnered with Jeremy over there, and they're letting us come in. We bring all of our volunteer stations, so anybody out there that's interested about RSVP, you can come to the Bayview Senior Center on February 9th from 9 to 11. It's free for any senior over 55. Or 55 or better, as I like to say.
Yes.
And we'll have information there and in and out, and we'll get you signed up, and we'll get you volunteering in the community because there's so much need in this community for extra volunteers.
We'll definitely hear from Jeremy in just a moment. That just lets you know the correlation that many of these organizations share, right?
Exactly.
My heart is full when I think about the United Way of Escambia County and what you're doing. Now, let's say we have someone who maybe isn't a senior citizen and they're thinking about some things they could possibly do to assist your organization, maybe marketing or administrative?
Well, we have openings, either retired or not, but we have the 2-in-1 system at United Way, which is a 411 for basic information, human information. So
Human
if you were looking
information.
for an assistance with a power bill or looking for a doctor, 211, it's free to call. We're always looking for volunteers to help staff that. Again, the VITA program is at the United Way. The free taxes, we're always looking for volunteers. Volunteers in general at United Way. So we had a picture up there earlier of some of the volunteers that work in the office doing some of the financial stuff for us. So we're always looking for people to come out because it's just a great organization and it's a great community that just needs a lot more volunteers, and we're just always looking to get people out there and get them into the community and helping out.
And I have a little question for you. What piqued your interest in working for the United Way of Escambia County?
I just have a big heart and I just love to give back. So it's a great community. I've lived here most of my life, and I just like to see people giving back and helping out, helping their neighbor, helping a friend, meeting new friends, helping somebody out, meeting a new friend, friends for life type thing. So it's just a great community, and I just love helping people.
So Ginger, have you reeled any people in as volunteers? I know that you're so faithful, the wonderful things that you do.
I have friends that ask me, how are you doing with your little girl? And how's she doing? And I say, I get to go see her tomorrow. And no, not yet. But
Not yet?
Not yet. But I do talk very highly of what I do because it's such a reward to me to invest in someone else's life and to make it possible for them to reach every potential that they can in their life at a young age. And I just love it. And I've done a lot of different volunteer work, and I just love it.
Wonderful platform. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed it. Folks, as we head to break, we want to remind everyone that the United Way of Escambia County needs you. It's never too late to roll up your sleeves and participate in the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program. For more information, you can call 850-434-3157 or log on to the website unitedwayescambia.org/RSVP. We'll be back right after this.
WSRE is celebrating 50 years of public broadcasting for the Gulf Coast, and we're getting the party started on Saturday, February 4th at Seville Quarter. Shimmy, twist, or disco down to Phineas Farms for the Dance 23 50th Anniversary Kickoff Party. Come dance through the decades, dressed in costume from your favorite era since 1967, or come as you are. Music provided by Boogie Incorporated. WSRE thanks you for 50 groovy years.
Hello everyone, age is nothing but a number, and my next guest will stress how important it is to follow your dreams and reach for the stars. I want to welcome John Clark, CEO of the Council on Aging of West Florida. Joining him, we have Jeremy Street, Director of the Bayview Senior Center, including one of his faithful volunteers, Marcy Keycaver. Love that last name, Keycaver. Let's just unlock the door, right? Okay, so glad to have all of you. We have a lot to dig into. So, Jeremy, I'm going to start with you. The Bayview Senior Citizens. There's just so much going on at the center. Give us an overview. When did you open the doors?
Okay, so the Bayview Senior Center has actually been at Bayview Park since 1978. So,
78?
Yes, it's been there a long time, still going strong.
Good year.
Stronger than ever, I would say.
Stronger than ever.
So I think a lot of people would be very surprised to know just the variety of programs that we have, the amount of programs that we have. We're right there in Bayview Park, right on the bayou. It's a beautiful location. And we have a little bit of everything going on. We've got every kind of game and social event that you would want to be a part of. We've got educational opportunities ranging from computer classes every Friday to different seminars on everything from saving for retirement to protecting your identity online. We have all kinds of great exercise and social programs and special events.
We will definitely delve a little bit deeper momentarily. Marcy looking so lovely over there. So you're a volunteer. When did you begin?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. What piqued your interest?
Well, I moved down here 2 years ago, and I was going to a senior center, and I exercised and I did the activities. So I called Council on Aging to find out where I could find one.
Yes, that thread that we were talking about earlier, it extends, doesn't it?
That's right.
So, John, the Council on Aging, let's just get a nice recap, educationally speaking, for our viewers of your organization.
Well, great. We are a private nonprofit. We've been operating in our community since 1972, and I've been there since 1974. And I remember when Bayview opened, and it is a beautiful facility. It's probably one of the prettiest in the state. We are a private nonprofit, but our overall mission is try to help seniors remain as independent and as active for as long as possible and avoid going into some type of institution. And we do that by providing an array of services.
Right, and it's something great that you mentioned, John. Seniors so active, that is the theme of this show, but we also think about the mental health issues as well, the in-home services that you offer. Let's talk a little bit about the Alzheimer's respite care.
Okay. We have a wonderful program called, it's an adult daycare center. It's called The Retreat. And this is a program where people who might be caring for a parent or a spouse can bring that parent or spouse to the daycare center, and during the course of an 8-hour day, they can receive activities, supervised care, and what have you.
See a picture up here, for example.
Oh, yes. That this was at one of our programs. We had a dancing program, and that one of the gals in the picture, the one on the left with glasses, she's our daycare director.
Okay.
She's really into it. She's into it
We
big
can
time.
tell.
Yeah, she is.
Lots of energy.
And it's a great program. People who go there, they say, well, I love it when I can take my mother there, or my father, or my spouse. He or she reacts better at home. They sleep better. Their mood is better. And most of the people that go to our daycare center have some type of cognitive impairment or physical disability. They could have had a stroke and be in a wheelchair. So it's a great program, and we're very proud of it, and we encourage people to call if they're interested in learning more about it.
All right, shifting gears back here to Jeremy. I hear that you're into movies, and with some of the events that you have there at Bayview, you dress up from time to time, right?
We dress up every chance we get.
How often is that?
We try to,
every other day.
for as many special events as we can. And Marcy is actually 2-time dress-up champion. She won the costume contest at Halloween, and then again, tacky Christmas sweater contest as well. So.
And here you are now.
There it
let's
is.
say from Star Wars.
Yes, that's Darth Jeremy.
Darth Jeremy. And Marcy, who are you? Or who are you wearing, as some celebrities would say?
It's Halloween. You can be whatever you want to be.
But one interesting thing, we had a discussion briefly, Jeremy, is the fact that Bayview can be rented for other events, and something when I was perusing the website that I saw, you have various meetings, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And that's just one.
Yeah, we have several actually. During the day, like typical business hours, 8 to 5, all of our programming is geared toward ages 50 plus. And then towards the evening, it's just a general adults programming setting, and we have clubs that meet. We've got a magician's club, a stamp collector's club, and then we have some support groups that meet as well, an AA and an NA group that actually meet.
All right. So some of the other things that you do, Marcy, as a volunteer, why don't you just roll it out for us? You're probably multifaceted. I'm looking into your eyes and I see some great things. Tell us about some of the other things that you do, because I would imagine you have your hands in many pots, so to speak.
The exercising, the chair aerobics.
Chair
I was
aerobics.
asked if it's a volunteer and it's free, so somebody has to keep it rolling. And the one gal asked me if I would think about doing it, and I was dragging my feet, and then I decided I was going to do it. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy the people coming,
Yes.
and I always tell them, give us a chance, come 3 or 4 times and see if you like it, and then decide what you want to do.
And not to put you on the spot, how have you helped get the word out? And I can tell you like to read there, a few book covers on your sweater. Nice fashion statement. But some of the things that you have done to bring people in, to say, hey, why not come out to Bayview? You'll have loads of fun. Don't sit at home. You'll meet some great people. You'll network. You'll find out about great services. So talk a little bit about that.
I am an encourager, and I do give out books. I'll give out schedules, and I tell the people, please come and see us, check us out, because you just don't know what you're going to run into. We have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun exercising.
I'm sure you do. Don't worry, I'll be back. John, let's talk about the Meals on Wheels program. You and I were talking in the green room, and when I lived in Charleston, I helped my mom with that, and I think it's a fascinating thing. Tell us a little bit more about it and how many people you serve through the Council on Aging.
Well, we serve about 2,200 people a year through all of our programs, but that's a great question about
Yes.
Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels is a nutrition program for those that are homebound and they perhaps can't properly prepare their own meal. We can deliver nutritious frozen pack of 7 or 5-pack meals, breakfast or lunch, whichever they need, to their homes. And we serve about 500 people in that program a day.
Good.
We also have speaking of activities,
Yes.
is senior dining sites. We have 18 of those in Escambia and Santa Rosa County. In fact, one of them is at Bayview. And that's a program for more active people,
Yes.
60 and over, who can come together, enjoy a hot lunch and fellowship. In fact, if you ask anybody in that program, why do you go there? They're not going to say the meal. The meal is good, don't get me
Yes,
wrong.
we
But
can't discount that.
They're going to say, but they're going to say they go there to be with other people in the fellowship. Nobody wants to eat alone.
No.
You know, every single day. So it's a great program. Both are great nutrition programs. They're very important programs nutritionally for the senior adult.
So some might say, I'm the perfect person to get on the roster, so to speak, for Meals on Wheels, and we'll definitely have more information on that later. But let's just talk about some of the people who drive out to the locations. Have you ever had a situation where someone has shared with you a heartwarming story or something along those lines?
Well, yeah, we do get a lot of good stories like that. We try every month, for example, to have somebody come to our board of directors meeting. We have 25 people on our board of directors, and they meet every other month. And they don't always hear the stories. We had a gentleman come. He was in his 90s. He was a World War II veteran, and his daughter heard about Meals on Wheels
Yes.
program, and he came and started talking about it and what it meant to him to have somebody come to his home, somebody he could look forward to seeing and talking to, and how much the program meant to him, and his daughter, how much it meant to her, knowing that he was going to get a good meal at least once a day, 7 days a week. So, you know, that kind of made you feel good to know that you were really helping people like him.
And one thing that some people may not think about, let's say you have a son or a daughter who lives 2 states away, and they're thinking every day about mom and dad. Are they
Absolutely.
eating well? So that is such a wonderful contribution to the community. All right, Jeremy, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned that in the 70s, that's when the doors were open, right? But you're an enthusiast, and I knew that from day one, since our first conversation. let's just talk about ways to think outside the box. There are people out there who could lend credence and add some things to Bayview. They might be great videographers. They might have some administrative skills they would want to maybe lend to you. So how does somebody go about doing that? Because we want to make sure that regarding the volunteerism, that everyone knows, okay, you may not be a senior citizen, but, right, you can still assist.
Yeah, so we're there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. We want everybody to come see us. Ask any questions, drop in, just check it out, meet us, let us know how you like to get involved, or if you don't know, you just think you want to get involved, we can put you somewhere. We also just started a Bayview Facebook page.
That's good.
Yeah, we were just putting our stuff on the city's page, but now we have our very own Facebook page. You can reach us through there or through the city's website or our phone number.
Let's talk about the computer class. And I will be honest with you, and I help my mom in this respect. Had a computer, didn't know what a mouse was. And really, honestly, we have to teach. We need to educate, right? So the class that you offer will help people get online, season them. Apprehension will hopefully go away.
Right, and it's not just the computers. People bring in their tablets and their smartphones now, or just really anything that they have questions about. You can bring in your own stuff, or you can use the computers that we have there, and we have a volunteer that'll walk you through and give you whatever information you need.
So Marcy, let's talk about any specific story that you would like to share from your experience, aside from you and Jeremy as movie characters per se, but has any one person touched your life exponentially, as I would say, since you've been a volunteer
I'd say
at
the
Bayview?
ARC clients.
Elaborate on that for us just a bit.
They exercise with us. And
That's good.
I have my nicknames for all of them. Like there's Counting Robert.
Okay.
And he's always counting the men, and I'll say, Robert, how about the women? Just the men.
So we must encourage one another to reach for the stars, because we are seniors, so active. Great having all of you during this segment.
Thanks.
Thank you all so much. Now, folks, as we head to break, we want to provide you with more information from these fine organizations. The Council on Aging of West Florida is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, call 850-432-1475. Meanwhile, the Bayview Senior Center wants to hear from you. The facility is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. For more information, please call 850-436-5190. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back right after this.
WSRE is celebrating 50 years. There are so many stories to tell, and we'd like to share yours. Please visit WSRE.org/50 and tell us about your most memorable moments with public television and WSRE.
I'm Jeff Weeks, and I love to talk, but I find I learn a lot more when I listen. I hope you'll listen in on the next conversations. We talk with engaging personalities from all walks of life: sports, business, politics, science, entertainment, literature, you name it. Some are names you know. Others are ones you'll be glad to get to know. No talking points or agenda-driven tirades. It's real conversation that matters.
Seniors, are you ready to put on your dancing shoes, sing a little song, and travel in time? The Pensacola Senior Follies will provide you with all that and then some. We're rolling out the red carpet for this fine organization that is celebrating 20 years of spectacular entertainment. Could you be the next breakout performer? We'll see. I'm so excited to welcome Ken Turk, Director and President, Carolynn Turk, Vice President and Talent Coordinator, including Nancy Lagon, dedicated board member. I must admit, I'm in awe of all this fine talent. So Ken, let's start with you. Can you give us an overview of the Senior Follies and the significance of this 20th year celebration?
Well, great. We are a 501c3 tax-exempt corporation here in the state of Florida. And actually, we started right here at WSRE in 2006. That was probably about our 6th show at that time, and that's just when we got affiliated with right here at Gene and Paul Amos Performance Studio. And we've been here ever since, and we're going to be glad again to be here this year.
I can hear that energy in your voice. So before you made that connection with us here at WSRE, where were you doing your shows previously?
We were at the Ashmore Theater.
Okay.
And I believe, was that your very first year?
That was my first
And then
year.
before that, we were at one point at University of West Florida.
Okay, so you've moved around a bit, right?
We have.
Until we found our home here at WSRE.
Right, and I'm glad you're home. Yes, this is home. So Ken, you're the brainchild, you and your wife, Carolynn, behind this. Okay, first of all, the name. Did you come up with the name, or was it Carolynn?
Well, my wife is all the ingenious one with the names. This year,
Give you the credit.
Yes, this year it's called Seniors Times 20, since this is our 20th year. We went back through some of our previous shows, and we tried to pick out what we thought was a very nice show, and we're hoping to present a good show again this year.
So, Carolynn, give us a breakdown, really, of how you recruit people for the Senior Follies.
Well, for a lot of years, we put ads in the Pensacola News Journal saying, if you're interested in joining the Follies, and back then, we didn't even say if you have any talent.
All right,
we
well,
simply
maybe not.
said if you're a senior
and
you would like to sing or dance or do comedy or just do background skits, anything like that would be fine.
Now, Nancy, let me head over to your corner of the world here. Sometimes people hear the word senior and they say, oh, well, it's a state of mind. It's not a number. So, I don't know, is there any age cutoff, or do you have a certain age where you can start?
Certainly, yes.
Certainly, yes. So what is that?
To be a member of the Senior Follies, the requirement is, very lightheartedly, 50.
50?
50. But then on the other end, we've had members since I've been affiliated with the Follies, upwards to 90s. So young at heart. Young at heart. It's about attitude.
Attitude. You have a new attitude, right? So, when did you become a volunteer? When did you begin with the Senior Follies? Your life story in the Follies.
Oh, it's a great story. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Some of the Follies members were in choir with, I was in choir with them, and they had for a number of years asked me to join. They were, I think, charter members.
Ken said yes.
And Kurt Bonner. And they kept asking and asking, and I finally said yes, but I wasn't 50.
Okay, so you were a little younger.
I came in and I said I was 50. So I've been with the Follies now for 8 years, 9 years, and it's been volunteering with great gusto. I think the Turks bring the best out in people as far as having young at heart attitudes.
Speaking of being young at heart and laughter, our viewing guests there, we'd like to share a little bit of comedy with you from the Follies 2016 performance.
All right.
Miss Alberta Einstein, you have been sentenced and convicted and sentenced, and we're going to put you to death today in this here electric chair. Do you have anything that you'd like to say before we carry out the sentence?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. I am a graduate of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology with a degree in electrical engineering. And I really don't know anything about divine intervention, obviously, or the law. But the one thing I do know is you're not going to electrocute anybody unless you plug the dang thing in.
Well, oh my gosh. Bring them back. Don't let them go. Don't let them go. Wait a minute.
Oh, that's just a little snippet, and we'll have more comedy at the show. That was hilarious.
That was actually, Nancy was one of the police officers. And that was
right.
That was old Sparky from Florida. That's the way they used to do it here in Florida.
So let's talk about some of the different categories of entertainment, Ken, for the Follies.
Well, we try to say there is no action.
Okay.
We do comedy, we do skits, we have people that sing, we have people that dance. So we get you in there one way or another, and we try to get equal stage time for everybody that belongs to the Senior Follies, whether you can sing, dance, or comedy. And we gladly share the stage with everybody, which is great.
Carolyn, is there an audition process?
There is
Talk
not.
about that.
There is no audition process. It's pretty much word of mouth now. We tell our friends, if you know anybody that would love to come and be in the Follies, we would love to have them. They don't necessarily have to have a talent per se, but it's a family. We are a Follies family.
Follies
we
family,
truly
I like that.
are. We truly are.
I like that because as a volunteer and you're a board member and you've been with the Senior Follies for such a long time, give me an understanding emotionally of how you feel every single year when you perform and you meet new people.
Good question as well. For me, when Carolyn says it's family, it is, because we've gotten to know each other as grandkids and kids and go through experiences, sickness and health.
Everything.
We go through it all together. And the Follies are a family. Like any family, it has its good and uglies and bad apples and rotten fruit, whatever. But everyone has a sense of being together in a process. And the process, comes to a head every year. And this year it will be on February 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Oh, yeah, and we'll put some information
that was a little
about that. That's fine. Hey, we're excited about it, so speak on, right? Speak on. Ken, back to you. All the different years that you have put on these performances, and you sent me some information about the themes for each year. Is there any one year that just really stands out for you?
Well, there probably is one year that I think my wife and I have always thought was one of the best ones. That was called Calendar Girl. We went through that every month.
2007. Right.
Yes, that's what it was, yes. So we started off January and February, March, and went all the way through. And we put on a very big production at the end of 12 Days of Christmas with the whole cast across there. And I happened to be the partridge up in the pear tree. And that went very well, thank you.
Speaking of animation and movies, in 2014, Mary Poppins was a familiar theme, and we have a clip from that. Put some pep in your step, Ken.
Yes, now that was my wife and Fred Castellucci that was in that number.
Wonderful
And I don't, if you might have noticed that we always have kind of a slideshow in the back of what they are performing at that time. And
Great
that
visuals.
is put on by a gentleman called Wayne Funk, and we really appreciate all the work he does for us.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force.
Yes.
And he gives many mucho hours.
Like that. Nancy, let's talk about the people who work behind the scenes. Elaborate on that for us, please.
Every year is different. However, they're now the same. To help me with names, Ken and Lois are Peterson are our sound people. So they're the ones that mic us, and they come in, a dress rehearsal and then through, and they're just always there. There's a number of people that help with props and all that jazz.
Yeah. So before sometimes people might be getting ready to come out and perform, and maybe they have a few butterflies. What do you and Carolyn tell them? Hey, just head on out there. You can do this.
We say, have fun. And if you come to
Always.
all 3 shows, you'll see a different show every night because
Everyone
there's
needs to
something
do that.
different every night.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
so true.
And we have, and like I said, we have quite a few people that do work behind stage. We have prop people that move things in and out. We have, of course, the people here at WSRE that help us.
And they're fabulous,
yes, and they
all
do a
of
great
them.
job with us. So.
So regarding the themes for each year, and I know that you're on the board, so do you all vote on a specific theme or something comes to mind?
You know, I have to say, in all fairness, we don't vote. And the reason it's all family members. Again, if you put a full family together, you'll have a lot of ideas. So the
You will.
Turks take that, they take ideas.
Ideas.
But they create the
And then they run with them. And you all give and
Is that
receive
fair?
feedback. That's a fair answer, right, Carolyn?
Yes.
Absolutely. Tell me your fondest moment from the Follies, your participation.
Oh, my fondest memory? Oh, there's so many of them. I think it would probably be the very first time I danced with the Dancing Grannies, tap dancing.
Tap dancing.
Yeah. And since then, this is my 16th year, I believe, with the Grannies. And I took
You're
over.
a youngster.
Oh, yeah. I took over the lead for the Dancing Grannies when Vivian Jennings, who created the Dancing Grannies, wasn't able to do it anymore. So that was about 12 or 13 years ago.
Ken, just for a few moments here, your fondest moment in the performance realm.
In my performance realm, oh boy, that's a really good question. I think that my performance one is I always like our ending. Our ending
The
is
grand
always
finale.
grand finale. It is always about the military, and we love our military, and we always salute them at the ending of all our shows. And we're very proud of all the military people, and we have quite a few military people that are actually in the Follies. So.
I like that, and we love our armed forces, don't we?
We do.
Listen, we're only getting warmed up, people, so we have more of the Follies coming up. Thank you all so
Right.
much for being here during this segment. Now, we want to give you the inside track to the Follies' upcoming shows. They're performing 3 days. WSRE TV's Amos Studio. Admission is $12. On Friday, February 10th, The Magic begins at 7 p.m. On Saturday, February 11th, there's a 2 p.m. show. And on Sunday, February 12th, The Excitement begins at 2 p.m. To learn more about the Senior Follies and how you can become a participant, please call Ken Turk at 850-417-7736. So as we head to break, take a look at this clip from the Senior Follies 2012 performance, Elvis is in the building.
Well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? Hamilton like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm in love. I'm not sugar. Oh, yeah. Well, my hands are shaky and my knees are weak. I can't feel.
Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion with the Senior Follies. We're glad to have Jan Harnish, Publicity Co-Chair, her twin sister Sue Loveless, who also serves in that same capacity, including Dolores Still, who is one of the many performers you'll see during the shows. Welcome to all of you lovely ladies.
Well, thank you very
So
much.
glad to have you here. So let's get the ball rolling, twins, in your court here. Sue, you look so lovely in that blue.
Well, thank you.
So you and your twin sister Jan have been with the Senior Follies. Tell us a little bit about your history, Sue.
I am about 12 years in the Follies.
Okay.
And I lived in Mississippi for a number of years. But the minute I got back here, I joined the Follies. This is my 9th year, I do believe it is.
I think it's my 12th.
What could separate you lovely twins?
Our husband.
You're identical twins. What could separate you?
My husband's job.
So, Sue, back to you, talking about your years in the Follies. What piqued your interest? How did you hear about the Follies?
The people.
Networking, maybe?
Yes.
Well,
it was just
it's so well known, really. I mean,
really, yeah.
It is. I think it's been a lifesaver for both of us in that we lost our sister, and
so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and when I moved back here, our family, the Senior Follies, they were right there with us, and that was a blessing.
Speaking of family, lovely Dolores over here. When did you join the Follies?
I was in the second Follies in '94.
All right.
But I moved, and let's see, I think '05, I left and moved back to Ohio, my home. And then I lost my husband a couple years ago, so I moved back. So I'm back with them.
Now, let's talk about your background for just a moment here. Are you a world traveler?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Used to be.
All right, so give us a little bit of a snippet of that. Not singing right now, we'll get to that in just a moment, but just tell me about your background.
Well, I sang, I'm from Detroit.
Detroit.
Everybody in Detroit.
Oh, yes, everybody. Yes, they say that, don't they?
Yeah, and I did a lot of singing in Canada. I was with a group, and we did a lot in Canada.
Did you
and all over the United
all over the U.S.?
Except more or less in the Midwest.
In the Midwest?
And in New England states.
So did you ever sing with any famous artists? If you would like to mention a name or two?
Well, no, we were kind of famous ourselves in Columbus.
See, I like
that. we were in there's like a Hall of Fame there in Columbus, just in Columbus, and we were in that. And but there's a book in the library there of all of us that participated. And they called me, and I went and accepted an award while I was here.
Congratulations.
For that. But that's been a long time ago.
But you're so young. It couldn't have been too far.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Been
that's
been back long. That was a while.
Miss Dolores, she's amazing.
So how did the three of you actually come to know each other? Did you network before you all joined the Follies? Or?
No.
Through the Follies.
Just through the Follies.
Through the Follies.
We found out from Ken and Carolyn during the last segment that you all are a great family.
We are. Absolutely.
Support system.
Without a doubt.
Right?
We are. We have our moments, as Nancy said, but like any family, we plow ahead, don't we?
We do.
We do.
We love each other.
We do. We get
As
along.
I remember,
happy.
we were backstage. You know, we have our little pep talk before the
performances.
Before the curtain.
Okay.
I'll never forget Kenny saying, "Well, I've done all I can do. Now it's up to you."
The ball is in your court.
That's true.
We had a discussion, twins, didn't we, sisters, about Hawaii. Aloha.
Aloha.
I lived in Hawaii as a child for 2.5 years, and I understand that you lived in Hawaii as well. On that note, let's hear from the twin sisters. We have some Blue Hawaii for you from 2014. yearn to visit Hawaii again. You were fabulous.
Well, you need to come to this year's show.
That's right.
We're dancing the Hawaiian wedding song.
I know you'll
So
steal the show.
You've got to come.
So let's
no, Miss Dolores will.
Back in
Put
your
me on
court,
the
right,
spot.
Dolores? Okay, so are you ready for me to put you on the spot, Dolores?
Okay.
Dolores, I know we had a little chat. You are an amazing person, so humble, but you would like to share a little snippet of a song for us. Will you tell us what it is, and then I'll let you go ahead and sing.
Okay, it's a little part of I Believe.
All right.
I'm going to do it without music.
A cappella, the floor is yours.
I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, touch a leaf or see the sky, then I know why I believe.
Woo! What can you say
I
after
told you.
Dolores?
She's
Thank
gonna
you
steal
so
the show.
much. I believe. Do you believe?
She's awesome.
I believe you need to support the performance, everybody. Let's talk about the preparation for the shows, rehearsal time. I know a lot of times people think, maybe I'll become a part of the Senior Follies, but how long do I need to rehearse, or when are the rehearsals? So talk a little bit about that, and either one of you can jump in, twin sisters.
We're on Thursdays.
We start off in February, don't we? February.
No,
No, February's the show.
No, we started January.
January,
January.
rehearsing. Okay.
And we rehearse
Was it
once a
December?
week.
Actually, it was December.
No, it was December.
Right, but we had
About 3 months rehearsal.
And do you have a time frame?
Thursday evenings.
Okay.
Usually we get there at 5 till about 7:30. And occasionally we'll have a special session if someone needs something special to work on.
All right. So do you have particular rehearsal dates? For example, those who are singing come on this day, or those who are tapping,
Sometimes.
or another event?
But Kenny is right in that he likes to start from the very beginning, and we run right straight
Through the entire show.
And we're at that point now where we're together enough, we're right through it.
That's good. Now, and another question that came to mind, let's say you had someone with special needs that wanted to participate in the Senior Follies. I'm sure that you definitely make accommodations for
absolutely.
that. But that's a good question to ask.
Absolutely.
Senior Follies are a family.
And the door is open.
It's always open.
It's always
That's
open.
how I first started with them. I was working for ARC.
Okay.
And they were with Bayview.
That's phenomenal. Dolores, we heard your singing, but I tell you one thing, there are some great tap dancers with the Senior Follies. So we're going to show you some energetic ladies who know how to tap oh so well. Dolores, I noticed the excitement. I heard some screaming out there, just really getting into the performances. This is amazing, and this is how the entire show is.
It is.
Full of energy,
It is.
so much life. Yeah. Tell us, Jan, why, in your own words, you believe everyone should come out and support the Senior Follies.
Because there's no age that is immune to the excitement and to the spirit that we have. You just don't put an age on it. If you want to have a good, entertaining evening of enthusiasm and goodwill and lots of love, come see us. It's just a lot of fun.
Sue, your perspective.
Being with the family, having Something to run back to. If, during the course of the year, maybe things will happen that will upset you.
Right. Circumstances in life.
But you always know the Follies is right around the corner.
Right.
And we all really, we
and you
rush
walk in
back.
that room, and there we all are.
And we're back together again.
And we miss our loved ones that have gone
That have
on.
passed. Yes.
But
we
their
miss
memories
them.
with us always.
Always with us.
And Dolores, from your perspective, let me hear from you.
Well,
why does everyone need to come out and support the Follies?
That's the way I felt when I came back here, and they were, with just like open arms, Ken and Carolyn, come on back to the Follies, and I was just in pieces. But I'm being around and seeing Jan and Sue again, and meeting new people that I didn't know, and some of the older ones are still there. And it was just wonderful. And people come up, hug you, and
they do
and
embrace you.
Yeah, it just helped me so much.
We just get out there and make it happen.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
We didn't make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Everybody needs to come out and support the Senior Follies. Ladies, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right, folks, before we say goodbye, we want to give you another look at the Senior Follies 20th anniversary performance schedule. All shows will take place at WSRE TV's Amos studio. Admission is $12. On Friday, February 10th, the show begins at 7 p.m. On Saturday, February 11th, there is a 2 o'clock show. And on Sunday, February 12th, the excitement begins at 2 p.m. To learn more about the Senior Follies and how you can become a participant, please call Ken Turk at 850-417-7736. Meanwhile, I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us this evening. I'm Ramika Vincent Leary. Have a good evening. And remember to keep it locked in right here on WSRE, PBS for the Gulf Coast.